Atlanta Falcons just lost to the Minnesota Vikings 42-21, and with that being said, they have lost their last 4 games. They are now second in the NFC South Division to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they have beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not once but twice this season. They swept the team, and yet you're second in this division. They are now 6-7 on the season, while the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 7-6 on the year. This was one of the worst situations for the Atlanta Falcons. They could go out there and win out for the rest of the season, and they will still make the NFL playoffs. But I believe it's too late. You have to go out there and make a change with Kirk Cousins. He has to be on the bench. Now, he's not the only reason why they're losing football games right now, but he is the biggest reason. I'm going to talk about every reason. The last 4 games have been terrible. 0 passing touchdowns to 8 interceptions. And they're paying Kirk Cousins a lot of money, not just for this season, but for the next 2 years also. Kirk Cousins' contract at this stage of the game is not even tradable. And you have a rookie quarterback in Micheal Penix Jr. who you selected in the first round. This is why they selected Micheal Penix Jr. in the first round. If we go back a couple months ago, I was on board with them selecting Micheal Penix Jr. They still need an elite pass rusher. Yes. But when I look at Micheal Penix Jr. right now, I believe he's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. He can get outside the pocket. He has some mobility. And he's not even known for moving around. Micheal Penix Jr. is known for anticipation and accuracy, something Kirk Cousins was known for many years with the Minnesota Vikings. This man has looked terrible this season. When you look at those 2 games against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he looked phenomenal. But you're not going to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense every single week. Against the New Orleans Saints a few weeks ago, he looked pedestrian. He did not look good. They paid him to come in and to basically be a franchise quarterback. Everyone knew that he was not going to be the same quarterback that he once was before he tore that Achilles. And before he tore that Achilles, he was leading the league in passing touchdowns. And Kirk Cousins was supposed to come in and at least elevate the talent around him. If not do that, use that anticipation, use that accuracy to put the key skill position players in the best situations possible. And we've seen him do that. He did that against the Philadelphia Eagles. He did that twice against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He did that against the New Orleans Saints in the first matchup that they won. But when you look at Kirk Cousins, this is an older quarterback, torn Achilles injury. He'll have a good game here. Then he'll go 3 games where he does absolutely nothing, and then he'll show up again. But now you look at him in the last 4 games, these turnovers, they're holding the Atlanta Falcons back. The veteranship is no longer there with Kirk Cousins. We can go out there and we can say, hey, Kirk Cousins, he's getting the swag on, he's swag surfing. We're past that now. Fun and games are over with. You're no longer leading this division. Raheem Morris has to make a business decision. Kirk Cousins, great guy, great locker room leader. I understand that, but he's not playing good right now. You have a young quarterback in Micheal Penix Jr. who got mop-up duty against the Denver Broncos, and he looked good in that limited amount of time. I'm not trying to come on here and hype up Micheal Penix Jr. and say, hey, he's going to come in and be the next Michael Vick for the Atlanta Falcons. He's going to come in. He's going to be the next Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not trying to say that. But this is a kid that has played a lot of snaps at college. He's not your traditional rookie. He's an older player. Right now, he gives you a better chance to win than Kirk Cousins. You're not going to win football games with a quarterback that's turning the football over like how Kirk Cousins is. And he doesn't have the touchdowns that outweigh the interceptions and the turnovers right now. He can't evade pressure. He can't run from the blitz. And he is seeing the game too slow right now. The game is too fast for him. The game has passed him by. You can't run those play action bootlegs anymore because he can't run off to the right like how he was able to do last season with the Minnesota Vikings. You want to run a play action bootleg, he doesn't have the accuracy to push the football deep down the field anymore because of that leg injury. Many people believe a torn Achilles just deals with you running sideline to sideline and running up and down the field. It's more than just that. He has to plant that leg. He has to push off that leg to go deep down the field. We haven't seen Kirk Cousins throw the football deep down the field consistently to Darnell Mooney. He'll do it every now and then, but it's not on a consistent basis. So now Coach Robson's trying to run back to the pistol formation that he was running him in against the Steelers. And that was a terrible game plan. So they ran more shotgun, but you can't run shotgun every single time. You can't go out there and run shotgun every single play. You have to put Kirk Cousins under center. And even when he's hanging the football off, he's slow at doing that. He almost got sacked hanging the football off today against Bijan Robinson. That is how slow he is coming out of his stance right now. And when I look at the receivers are not the problem. Drake London can create separation. Darnell Mooney is a very good wide receiver. You can make the case that he's the best wide receiver on the team in terms of running deep down the field, coming in and out of his break. Kyle Pitts, it is what it is. He has not been that legendary tight end, unfortunately. He's an okay tight end at best. He gives up on routes. He's not an elite blocker. And that's not a controversial statement. Kyle Pitts, his rookie season, very good tight end, over 1,000 yards receiving, has dealt with injuries, has been misused. I understand that. But when he has had the chance to go out there and get open, he's been very underwhelming this season. Not a terrible player, but for where he was selected in the first round, he's been very disappointing. And I look at Coach Robinson. You can come on here, you can say a lot of negative things about him. Over the last few weeks, he's scheming guys open. Kirk Cousins just can't hit him. Now look at this defense. I wish Raheem Morris would call plays. He did a very good job of calling plays with the Los Angeles Rams. That's what helped him get this job. But he has Jimmy Lake calling plays. Ryan Nielsen last season was a better defensive coordinator than Jimmy Lake. Jimmy Lake has been terrible all season long, and yet this man is still calling defensive plays. Sam Darnold in today's game had 5 passing touchdowns. Bo Nix went out there a few weeks ago before their bye week, sliced and diced his defense up. Derek Carr has had a lot of success against this defense also. This is not a good defense for the Atlanta Falcons, and they have good personnel. You have Justin Simmons, you have Jesse Bates, you have Grady Jarrett, you have David Onyemata, you have Caden Ellis. Those are very good players. But when you have a defensive coordinator that wants to go out there and sit in zone the entire time, this is what's going to happen. And when you flip back into man coverage and you're leaving Justin Jefferson in one-on-one situations, why would you do that on third down? Now, they have been able to go back there and sack the quarterback within the last few weeks. They have 9 sacks as a team over the last 2 weeks. They sacked Sam Darnold 4 times a day. They sacked Justin Herbert 5 times last week. Their defense did everything right last week against the Los Angeles Chargers. But that's a Chargers team that was without their starting running back. And they were also down some wide receivers. So when I look at this situation for the Falcons right now, this is not good. This was an all-in season. You paid Kirk Cousins all of this money. You went out there, you brought in Darnell Mooney. You paid Justin Simmons to bring him in. You got Jesse Bates in last year's free agency class, and he's been phenomenal, by the way. This was basically your year. You rolled the dice. You push in all the chips. You gambled it all. And right now, it seems like you're not going to win this division. You have to bench Kirk Cousins right now. And I understand why he was upset why they took Michael Penix Jr. in the first round. Because you could say the Atlanta Falcons created the situation that they shouldn't have created with having a young quarterback on the bench. But at the same time, if they did not have Michael Penix Jr., they did not select him in the first round, and you had Taylor Heineke as your backup, you know your season is cooked. At least now you have an option to go to. A young quarterback that you know is going to be starting for you, hopefully, for the next 5 to 10 years at the best case scenario. Give Michael Penix Jr. a shot because you're not winning football games right now with Kirk Cousins. And you can say the last 2 weeks have been tough weeks coming off the bye week against the Chargers and coming off the bye week against the Vikings. You have to win these type of games if you want to win games in the NFL playoffs. Arthur Blank did not go out there and fire Arthur Smith and bring in Raheem Morris and bring in Kirk Cousins just for them to make the NFL playoffs and just for that to be it. No. They wanted to go out there and at least win a playoff game or two. And when you look at Kirk Cousins, everywhere he has been, this has been a man that has been put into a very good situation. This is not a bad offensive line. When he was with the Minnesota Vikings, that was not a bad offensive line. He had the key weapons around him, even though when they make the NFL playoffs a couple of years ago, that defense for the Vikings was atrocious. But we've seen Kirk Cousins come up short every single year in the NFL playoffs. But this time was supposed to be different. And you can call Atlanta Falcon fans fools. You can call me a fool also. I thought that this was going to work out. I still do believe this team can make the NFL playoffs, but you have to make the switch with Kirk Cousins. You worry about that contract down the road. But Kirk Cousins right now, he's single-handedly holding this team back. Raheem Morris has to come out, bench him, start Michael Penix Jr., and don't look back. And if you're going to ask me what happens if Michael Penix Jr. doesn't look good, you let him develop. You let him play through his struggles. The same way the Denver Broncos have done with Bo Nix. And the biggest reason why they brought in 2 quarterbacks is because of situations like this. They go out there, they sign Kirk Cousins, and they don't have this kid as a backup option. And you have Marcus Mariota as your backup. You have Taylor Heineke as your backup. You have Desmond Ridder as your backup. They have been put through quarterback hell. That's why Arthur Blank and the general manager did this. More so the general manager than Arthur Blank, because he was very confused to why they selected the quarterback in the first round. And you saw the general manager trying to explain why, because they have been put through quarterback hell. When you have Taylor Heineke, Marcus Mariota, and Desmond Ridder, those are your starting quarterbacks since Matt Ryan, you'll do anything to go out there and bring in at least one or two decent quarterbacks. But you know what you have with Kirk Cousins. You have a veteran guy that can't push the ball down the field. He's not mobile. He's terrible against the blitz. He can't work on play action bootlegs. You have Michael Penix Jr., who's been sitting behind him this entire season. He's ready to go. And you can't say that he's not ready to go, because they put him in the game in the fourth quarter when they got blown out by the Denver Broncos. The defense does need to be better. Jimmy Lake should have been fired over the bye week, but they didn't do that. Now that's on Raheem Morris. That's all on him. Hopefully they go out there and they do the right thing by Michael Penix Jr. I wish the Atlanta Falcons nothing but the best moving forward. It is going to be fun, because this is a two-team race now in this division. But they should have went out there and they should have took care of business a few weeks ago against the New Orleans Saints. And you can make the case that the kicker cost him the game in that situation. He missed numerous field goals. He had a field goal attempt that was blocked also. But I'm not going to blame the kicker for all of this. This isn't on him. You have a quarterback you're paying all this money to come in and put the ball in the red zone, and he hasn't done it in the last 4 games. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Atlanta Falcons moving forward, and should they start Michael Penix Jr.? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.